to Language and Literature Lab. I've not been able to drop any post for some time now, but I just decided that I'm going to focus mainly on literature because WAEC is coming and UTME also is coming. Today I want to talk about what make many people to fail literature, or why you see that in most cases many students or candidates don't get A1 in literature. Like in most cases we see CC, C5, C4 and all that. So now, what are the best ways to answer English literature, or to answer literature in English essay? What are the best ways to answer literature in English essay questions in WAEC and NECO? Okay, before I talk about the easy ways to answer literature in English questions in WAEC and NECO, that's the essay part. We'll talk about the 5 mistakes to avoid if you want to get A1 in literature for WAEC and NECO candidates. Number one mistake that candidates make is narration. Like when they ask you a particular question in literature, yes, they know that you must have read the book. Of course you must have read it, because before any exam they will give you the recommended text. Like for WAEC now, before you write WAEC, you must have treated or read the recommended text. For example, the recommended text for 2026 to 2030 WAEC and NECO are Once Upon an Elephant, The Marriage of Hannah Sewa, Newton, Once Upon a Time, She Was in Beauty, so on and so forth. So you must have read all those poems, all those novels and dramas. So you must have read them. The examiners know that yes, you have read them, so they are not expecting you, even the examiners, to have read those texts. So they are not expecting you to come and be narrating the text in exam. So that's the problem. That's what makes many people to fail or not to have A1. Like they just tend to narrate instead of answering the question. For example, in Once Upon an Elephant by Bosede Afolayan, if you are asked to discuss Ajanaku as a tyrant, then they are not telling you to now discuss to discuss everything in the play, to discuss Ajanaku, how he became the king, the coronation, how he became the king, and every other thing that he did in the play. What the examiner is expecting to see is what are the things that Ajanaku did in the play. The examiner is not expecting you to narrate everything about Ajanaku. The part that you are going to just talk about is what are the things that Ajanaku did in the book or in the play that make him a tyrant. Those are the things that you are going to discuss. The part where after his coronation, after he became the king, where one woman and I think the woman and her son and another man, they were having quarrel over a particular land, where the woman said the land belonged to them, while the man said he has been farming on the land. So while they were trying to settle the matter, instead of Ajanaku to settle, a tyrant is somebody that imposes his wish on people. Like a tyrant doesn't listen to anybody's opinion. So Ajanaku as a tyrant or as a character in the play Once Upon an Elephant, he imposes his wishes or his decision on the elders, the chiefs, and even every other person in the community. That was why when those people were dragging the land, he just stood there that when he got to know that in the farm there are many things there, that the man planted many things, I think kola nut and every other things that he planted there. So when he got to know that the land is rich, he just said, okay, they should not go to that. Since they are having the disagreement over the land, the man said the land is his own because he has been farming on it for some time now, and the woman said that the land is her own because it's for her family and all that they should just forget about the land, that he will take care of the land. So it was supposed to settle the quarrel amicably. Maybe we tell the man that, okay, remove your like harvest all your crops and leave the land for the woman. That's the best way that he would have settled that matter, but no, he didn't. He just told them that they should leave the land, that he will take care of the land. So he took the land against the wishes of both the man and the woman. That is against the wishes of the man that has been farming on the land and the woman that is the original owner of the land. So those are the things that we are supposed to talk about. And another part again, two men came. They said there is a community that is trying to fight them. This community will come to their own community, beat them up, kidnap some people, rape some women and all that. So because of that, they came to Ajanaku's community, because that community, they have warriors. So they came to Ajanaku's community to help him beg, to beg that they should bring some warriors to protect them and all that. So because of that, but when they said it, Ajanaku was like, no, that you people have to increase your homage. If you don't increase your homage, I will not send my warriors to protect you. That's it. So you see what those are the. And apart from that, there's also another time where we wanted to become immortal. So because he wanted to become immortal, his native daughter, that's Soripamo, told him that he should rape 6 virgins. So in raping 6 virgins, he will take their destiny. Why those victims, like those virgins that he raped, they will die slowly, while he will use their destiny to become immortal. So that's one of the things that make Ajanaku a tyrant. So those are the things, those are the instances that you should cite, not like we now be narrating the story from beginning to the end. Then number 2, not writing in paragraphs. You know that in paragraphing, one paragraph is supposed to have a particular point, not like, okay, for example, now I just mentioned like 3 instances of Ajanaku tyranny, like 3 instances. So if you now go and put these 3 instances in one paragraph, that's wrong. You're supposed to put each of the instances. Yes, you're supposed to put each of the instances in each paragraph. Like that part where I said he collected the land against the people's wish, that's in a separate paragraph. And apart from that, you have introduction. Introduction is in a separate paragraph. This one is in a separate paragraph. Then the part where the people came for him to help them, to bring warriors for them, and he refused, that's in another paragraph. Then the part where he raped 6 virgins, where we are going to discuss how he raped 6 virgins, that is another paragraph. Then conclusion is in another paragraph. You can see now, like 1 point for 1 paragraph, just like that. So if you not go and maybe you now write everything in 1 paragraph, that's wrong. In that case, in fact, I cannot say that you have up to, I'm not sure you are going to have up to 10 over 25 in that case, because you know that each question is 25 marks and 1 paragraph is 5 marks. So if you now go, what you're supposed to write in 5 paragraphs, you now go and write it in 1 paragraph, it means that I don't know, it depends on the examiner. The examiner can just decide to give you maybe 5, since 1 paragraph is 5 marks. Then number 3, not writing the required numbers of paragraphs, at least 5 paragraphs per question. So like I said before, you are supposed to, like 1 paragraph carries 5 marks, 1 paragraph carries 5 marks, and altogether we are expecting 25 marks. The examiner is expecting that you are going to write in at least 5 paragraphs. You can also write in 6 paragraphs depending on the questions, but 5 paragraphs is the benchmark, is the list that you are expected to write, so that they can divide it into 5. Then not writing the compulsory paragraphs. The compulsory paragraphs are relation to theme, that's paragraph 1, that's number 1, and conclusion, I didn't write it here. Conclusion also, that's paragraph 5. It's also a compulsory paragraph, because it is in that conclusion that you are going to relate what you are discussing to either the text that you are discussing or to the society, because as you all know, literature is a mirror of life. Like most of the things that are written in the literary text that we treat, they are reflections of what is happening in the society, or of the things that are happening in the society. So you can also reflect what is happening, what happens in that text to You can also relate what happens in that text to what is happening in the society. For example, the story of Ajanaku that I just used. Ajanaku is just like a typical character. Like it's just he portrays the character of most African leaders, how they take laws into their hands, how they want to have powers by all means, and they do many things to have that power, and how they don't even care about their followers. Like all they just want is just themselves. And in most cases their followers do not even have any say in what is happening in the community or in wherever they are. They're not writing quotes. This is very, very important to me. Like, if you do not write quote, number one, it will make the examiner to feel like you did not read the book. For example, anybody can narrate a story to you. If you watch any Nollywood now, any Nollywood movie, you can narrate it to your friend. You can narrate it to your friend, but that doesn't mean that your friend read it. So what will make the examiner or the person that is marking your script to know that yes, you actually read the book is your quotes. So if you say that, oh, Ajanaku is a tyrant, what didn't do? What didn't say? What are the things he did? What didn't say? What did people say about him? What did the author say about him? What did other people, the other characters in the text or in the play say about him that make you to feel that he's a tyrant? So those are the quotes that you should write. So for direct quotes and indirect quotes, a quote can be a direct quote or an indirect quote. For indirect quotes, just like stating instances of the things that happen, or maybe what somebody said. You are not putting it in that particular way the person put it. You just like write it the way you understand it. Then for direct quotes, majorly you use them for direct quotes. You use them majorly in poetry. Like the lines, you put the lines and you analyze the lines. That's direct quoting. And as far as I'm concerned, you are not supposed to use indirect quote throughout your text, because if you are using that indirect quote throughout your text, it can still mean that you did not read it, that somebody told you or somebody narrated the story to you. So even if you are going to use indirect quoting, you should also use direct quoting. Using direct quoting means that you are using the line the way it is in the text. The way it is in the text, the way it is in the novel, the way it is in the play, and the way it is in the poem. And when you write that direct quoting, you put your quotation marks. Then, what to write in each paragraph. Now, here is the major thing. Now, I've told you what you should not do. Like, I've told you the mistake that you should not make when writing your literature in English essay questions in both WAEC and NECO. Then, for paragraph 1, relation to theme, very important. Like, I don't know what you are even going to get if you answer a question without introduction, that's without relation to theme. Like some people just feel like, oh, relation to theme is introduction of the author. No, you don't need to introduce the writer. It's not necessary. I think it's in the university, because when we were in the university, they used to tell us that we should write about the writer, because they feel like, oh, like in most cases writers write according to their experience. So if you are treating the work of a particular author, you should also treat the history of that author, because many writers, they write based on their experiences, based on what they are passed through in life. For example, I'm a teacher. Most of the things, if I want to write, and most of the things I'm going to write, for example, I'm a teacher, most of the things I'm going to write about, they're not going to be far from what I've experienced as a teacher. Then look at it now. Paragraph 1, in relation to theme. Then what you need to write in relation to theme, like I said before, you don't need the history of the writer. Then what you need to write, number 1, the title of the text. Then that title of the text, if the text is a novel, you underline it. For example, Part of Lucas or Redemption Road, those ones are novels, then you underline them. Then for titles of plays also, you underline them, like Once Upon a Time, the one I just talked Once Upon an Elephant, the one I just talked about. Once Upon an Elephant, the one I just talked about. You underline it because it's a play. Then I said you underline the titles of novels and plays. You underline once upon an elephant, underline the marriage of an Asewa, underline so the part does not die, underline redemption road, so on and so forth. Then for titles of poems like Once Upon a Time, She Walks in Beauty, New Tongue, Night, and the rest, you put them in quotation marks. Then after that, you write the name of the writer. I forgot to add that one. You add the name of the writer. For example, Once Upon an Elephant was written by Bosede Afolayan. She Walks in Beauty was written by Lord Byron. Once Upon a Time was written by Gabriel Kara, just like that. So you write the name. Even Night was written by Wole Soyinka. So you write the name of the text and the name of the writer. Then the year and place of publication. Okay, you write if the text was published in 2023, if it was published in 2020, just like that, you write it. The place of publication, like where they publish it, like which publishing company did they use to publish that particular book. Then the setting, very important. The time setting, the place setting is known as is also known as the geographical setting. That's for the place setting. It's also known as the geographical setting. The geographical setting, that is the place mentioned or used in that text. For example, once upon an elephant, the setting is Nigeria. Yes, because they use some Yoruba names then. The setting is Nigeria, an unnamed village in Yoruba land. Then the setting of So the Part Does Not Die is Sierra Leone. Then that apart from Sierra Leone, inside Sierra Leone there is a village called Talaba village. Then from that Talaba village, the major characters moved down to Freetown, which is the capital of Sierra Leone. Then from there, the major character moved to Koidu, where she now moved to Washington DC. Then from Washington DC, she came back to Sierra Leone. Then Sierra Leone was destroyed. They didn't even know the difference between Freetown and the rest. Then at the end, towards the end, they came to Nigeria, just like that. So those are the setting. But the major setting of that novel, the major setting of that novel is Sierra Leone. And the novel itself reflects the things that happened in Sierra Leone before and after their war. Yes, before and after the war, because after the war, many people were displaced. Like many people could not locate their loved ones. They could not locate their friends. They could not even locate their village, because the major character, when she came back from Washington DC, she was looking for her family members. She didn't meet any of them. It was only her sister that she met. She didn't meet her grandmother. She looked for her grandmother everywhere. She couldn't find her and all that, because then her parents were dead already. The time setting is different from the year of publication. So you can publish a particular text this year, that's 2026, whereas what you are talking about in the text is the things that happened in 1990. So that 1990 is the time setting, is the setting of the text. It's also known as the historical setting. I said place setting is also known as the geographical setting, while the time setting is also known as the historical setting. Then the social setting. The social setting means the things that happened during that time. For example, the social setting of So the Part Does Not Die is the time when in Sierra Leone, first of all, they believed so much in female genital mutilation. Like the time where they believed so much in tradition, and their tradition was that for every girl child to be recognized as a woman, she must be circumcised. That's the time in Sierra Leone. I think that was before their civil war, and that civil war was caused by the quest for diamond and the rest, and apart from that female genital mutilation, the other thing that is also portrayed in that book that also talks about the social setting of Sierra Leone then was the war, and that, like, what happened during the war, especially after the war, because the protagonist didn't experience the war. She only met the people that experienced the war, and they told her the story. Then you mentioned the themes apart from that one. You mentioned the themes in the text, the themes, or all the themes, all the major themes. For example, For so the power does not die, you have tradition, you have modernism, you have determination, many of them like that. Then for once upon an elephant, tyranny is there, dictatorship is there, infidelity is there, then ritual is there, like many other themes are in that play. So you mention those themes that are in the play. Then write your statement of intent. And this statement of intent depends on the question. Your statement of intent is just like you writing or introducing the question. For example, discuss Ajenako as a tyrant. So what you are just going to say is that what you are just going to write is that you are introducing Ajenako as somebody. Like Ajenako is, since that is the question, discuss Ajenako as a tyrant. So just for statement of intent, just write that Ajenako is a leader that doesn't listen to the plea of his subject. That's what tyrants do. Tyrants don't listen to the plea of their subject. So if you are saying that Ajenako is a leader that doesn't listen, or that doesn't care about his followers, or that doesn't listen to the plea of his subject, you have indirectly defined a tyrant. So that's it. You are indirectly introducing the question that you want to treat in the subsequent paragraphs. Then paragraph 2, explanation of terms or character identification. Now for that question, discuss Ajenako as a tyrant, what you are going to do, that is in paragraph 2 now. After you've written this paragraph 1, the next one is paragraph 2. Then what you are going to write, for paragraph 2, what you do is that it depends on the question. If the question is talking about themes and other if the question is talking about themes and other literary terms, what you do is that you just define the literary terms in paragraph 2. So for example, if the question is discuss the theme of tyranny in Once Upon an Elephant, in paragraph 2, what you just do is that you define theme, then you define tyranny. But in this particular question, define Ajenako as a tyrant, what you are going to do is that since a character is in the question, you do the character identification, like who is that character that we are discussing. So that's the reason I said that it depends on the question. So if the question is talking about a particular character, you have to identify the character in paragraph 2. That you have to tell the examiner that oh, I know the character that I'm going to discuss. Like who is Ajenako? Ajenako is the son of Akijobi, the bastard son of King Akijobi, because he is not an actual son of King Akijobi. The real father is Serobawon. Then the mother is Adebisi. He is the husband to, what's the name of that? Is it Omoyeni? Yes, Omoyeni. Then the King Akijobi, Ajenako became a king by force, because King Akijobi was not even dead before Ajenako became a king. King Akijobi was just sick when Serobawon made Ajenako a king. And not just that, King Akijobi had other children that are even older than, let's even assume that Ajenako is King Akijobi's son. He's not even the first child. He has other children that are older. He has other people that are older than him in the family. Those ones did not become king, but he forcefully made himself a king, and it was with the help of Serobawon. So that's what you write in character identification. You identify the character. Who is the character? Then if there's any other important terms, any other important literary terms in the question, you define it. Then paragraph 3, you write instances, like what are the things that make Ajenako a tyrant. There were the things I listed before, like how he treated the land issues, how he raped 6 virgins, how those people that came for help, that they said that people were killing them and kidnapping them, and they tried to ask Ajenako for help and he refused and all that. Those are the things that made him. Those are the things that make him a tyrant. So you write them. You can write one of them in paragraph 3. Then you write another one of them in paragraph 4. Then in paragraph 5 you write conclusion. Then for this conclusion, For this conclusion, write the significance or the effect of the question you just discussed on the test. So now, what is the significance of Ajanaku's tyranny on the other characters in the play? Like, what is the significance or what is the effect of Ajanaku's tyranny on the characters in the play? Like, the first, like, he caused fear in the minds of his subjects, of his followers. Then he made them to suffer. It even caused, for example, those people that he collected their land down, he has indirectly impoverished them. Then those people that he said those two men that said that people were that came to him for help, that said he should send his warriors to help them in their community. Because of what happened, one of them committed suicide. And I know that since Ajanaku did not assist them, like did not bring warriors for them, those people that have been terrorizing them, they will still keep on terrorizing them. So the effect of Ajanaku's tyranny is also death, the death of many people in the community, like many people that he is supposed to protect. And it even still leads to his own death, because at the end of the day, he died. It didn't all the things that he even wanted to do as a leader or as a king, he could not fulfill them because he died mysteriously. Then another thing you should write in paragraph 5, that's the conclusion, is you relate the question you just discussed to the outside world. Like I said before, literature is a mirror of life. So how is Ajanaku's tyranny in the text showing what is happening in the society? Like, how does it show what happens or what's happening in the African society? Because the book in Africa, how is Ajanaku as a king reflecting the character of the kings that we have in Africa? Because the play is an African play. It's simple. Ajanaku is just like every other 90% of African leaders that do not care about their followers. Like, they don't care. Their followers can be dying and all that. They don't care. What they care is just their own, their family and all that. Next class, we're going to do stanza by stanza analysis of She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. Then with this little explanation of mine, you'll be able to answer literature in English question to an extent or to some of this. If you are guilty of any of this, mere narration, not writing in paragraphs, not writing the required number of paragraphs, not writing the compulsory number of paragraphs. So if you are guilty of any of this, write them in the comment section. Let's start from there. Thank you very much. So watch out for our next class, analysis of Lord Byron's She Walks in Beauty. Thank you.